Your man's Kyle Kuzma just dropped 67 in a Pro-Am league recently. I don't know if you peeped. I forgot what the name of the league was, but I think it was in Utah. I'm pretty sure. It was in Utah, right? Yeah.
Your man's is a crazy line.
What you mean? It's not your man's?
Kyle Kuzma.
All right.
Shout out to Kyle. Yeah.
I'm about to say, like I said,
went to work.
Sound crazy. 67 is crazy. I'll tell you that much. 67 is nuts. I don't care what league or what damn
Wilt
game.
Chamberlain numbers.
Even if
triple double.
Yeah, hey, you know what?
67, 14, and 9. Shit.
67, 14, and 9 is intentional.
Crazy.
It's intentional. Yeah. It's pretty reckless, but hey, happy for him. You know, his team, Wizards, obviously dropped some
Gelo dropped. D'Angelo dropped like 52 last week too. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
D'Angelo or LiAngelo?
LiAngelo. Gelo.
Gelo. 52. Where you drop 52 at?
The Drew League, actually.
Gelo dropped 52 in the Drew League?
Yeah. Yeah, like that's what I'm saying.
Not
like,
bad.
People don't understand like how good you got to be in the NBA, and it's just crazy how like even like some of these guys are playing in these Pro-Am leagues. People keep saying like the common tweet is like, oh, you know, playing against guys working 9 to 5. A lot of those guys that are in the Drew League actually play like overseas. Like they're really good, you know, like it's not like you're casual, like, yo, shit, 9 to 5 worker at whatever company they're working at. A lot of these guys play like hoop professionally, like overseas in various countries. So I always hate that tweet, but these guys are getting buckets, they going to work, they're getting better. And it just goes to show you like the level of like how good you got to be in the NBA. Like you got a better chance of getting struck by lightning twice and making it to the league. That's why these guys that are not even top, some guys not even in the league, but some of these players like Kyle Kuzma's probably not a top 50 or 60 player in the NBA, and he would look like Wilt Chamberlain and get some of your average other pros that play overseas. It's just crazy how talented these guys are.
Top 60 is a little heavy. I think he's cracking. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, you know, summer league games, the summertime games are always special. You gotta get to see these players in a different light. But I tell you what, though, it's like I said before, it's tough to put up damn near 70. And then when you add 14 and 9 in the same game, it's almost like, you know, what the hell is going on? But yeah, I want to acknowledge that first before we dive into the topic and title of the show. What NBA players need have the most improved this season?
Most improved in what aspect? Because most improved with some people will say that like you fell off or you have
not necessarily.
That's what I'm saying. What aspect? Like you had a bad one season in your entire NBA career, and then people are going to talking all this shit.
Wow,
like
just sub the hell out of Kevin Durant. Oh, okay, well him too.
No, I was talking about Russell Westbrook. Like he had one bad season technically in his NBA career, and people are acting like this brother is not stamped and his legacy is not solidified. Like he's a all-timer who was a superstar for the duration of most of his prime, and he had one bad like regular season. Now people are like, you know what
I think. I think now people are probably frustrated and fatigued with the legacy talk. I think a lot of Laker fans understand that Russell Westbrook is a first ballot Hall of Famer, top 75, and all that, right? Very, very true. No one's going to take anything away from him. If he doesn't play another NBA game, he'll be all right. And he, again, first ballot of fame. But today, this season, right, can the Lakers win the championship? That's what a lot of people focus on.
What redemption are we talking about? Because it depends. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is like, what are we talking about? Because I look at Russell Westbrook. It's not like he had one bad season in a situation where, if you want to be real about it, the whole entire team was terrible and trash. Nobody really showed up or played. So it's not like we just looking at Russell Westbrook like, damn, you had a bad season. LeBron, Anthony Davis was there. That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we really talking about? Like, what redemption? It depends on what you consider redemption. Like,
okay,
so James Harden.
Trust me, there's a lot of options.
Yeah, you know Kyrie Irving.
Yeah. Basically players who, and it doesn't even have to be like they had a bad season last year. It's more of what players do you feel like have to remind folks who they are? Or if you're going with a rookie, who, like, is there any player who you may feel like, all right, yo, even though he may have been drafted high or low, he still has a lot to prove. It could be a guy who just got a crazy ass contract. It could be a guy who is in a contract year. Whatever the case may be. It's very general.
We call this redemption season. I mean, I guess it's anything if you haven't played up to the standards of yourself and what we've been accustomed to seeing, we can say that's a redemption season. Maybe it's been injury related, maybe it's been play related. Like it just depends. So I would say for me, I guess we'll give three. Um, so I guess the first one would be wow. The first one would be to me is Anthony Davis. When Anthony Davis is right, to me, he's a top five talent in the NBA, and we could say even a top five player like in 2020. To me, even in the NBA playoffs in the bubble, he looked like the best player on the Los Angeles Lakers team. At times, I feel like he should have won the Finals MVP during that series. Two-way monster, can score in a variety of ways. Regardless of if the Los Angeles Lakers trade Anthony Davis, trade Russell Westbrook or not, the whole entire Lakers season depends on Anthony Davis. That's how I'm looking at it. If he is what we have seen him been in his past, this season, the Lakers would be a top 4 to 6 seed in the Western Conference with Russell Westbrook if Anthony Davis is back to form. So I feel like a redemption season is coming from AD. As long as hopefully he's healthy. I'm not gonna say as long as he's healthy because that's a part of like some of the reason why like they struggle. So I feel like this season is very important for Anthony Davis and also very important for the Lakers, of course, in general. But for his redemption season, I think it's Anthony Davis needs to remind folks that, yo, when he's right, he's a lock for a top 10 player in the world. When he's right, you can make a case he's top 5 player in the world. If he's really right, like we saw in the 2020 NBA playoffs, he looks like he could be potentially one day the best player in the world. So redemption season for AD. Let's get it.
Yeah, I agree with that. Because I mean, you really like. I think the Lakers are going to go as far as Anthony Davis goes, right? I still think that come playoff time, Bron has to be that guy. But over the
Yeah.
course of the regular season, it's going to have to be AD. Right? I am tired, as I'm sure a lot of people are. Hell, I'm
Yeah.
sure LeBron is tired of seeing him still have to carry so much weight and carry like your team. Like, yo, all right, guys, get on my back again. You know what I'm saying? So with AD, I think it's going to be an important year for him because he's, I feel like in New Orleans, a lot of people were okay, acknowledging that he was great, but at the same time, people were saying like, oh, he doesn't have a great team. And when he played with LeBron and he won a chip, a lot of people were like, well, he won because he had LeBron. But now it's like, all right, AD, the talent is there. No one is going to deny that. Some people may question the work ethic. I don't. But now it's like, okay, if there's ever a year where you can quiet all that noise, it's now, right? Even after the bubble, there's still some people saying, all right, we have LeBron. But now it's like, okay, you got an aging LeBron. And again, you made the case LeBron is still the best player in the world. But the fact of the matter is, we all know that the Lakers are going to go as far as Anthony Davis goes. So I like that one. I'm going to go on the East Coast.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with another brother who, again, arguably could be top 5 player in this league. One of the top 5 scorers, probably arguably, of all time. And that's James Harden. Very similar to Anthony Davis. It wasn't longer than 3 years ago, where we talking about this brother being the top 5 special talent, MVP candidate, and all that. And now
top 3, top best player in the world.
Yeah. And so now to kind of see where he's at, I'll say, and how the season ended with Philly. The thing is, it hasn't been like, it's not like it's been like 6 or 7 years since his prime. So the thing is, but I still feel like he has something to prove, right? James Harden and Embiid can be one of the best duos in the league, but I think what's important here is which James Harden we're getting, right? Like I think we know what we're getting from Embiid, right? Solid big man who's probably going to do a little bit of everything, but are we going to get the facilitating James Harden? Are we going to get the Houston James Harden? Are we going to get a different type of James Harden that we've never seen before? But again, very similar to the Lakers, I think the Sixers are going to go as far as James Harden goes. I think they can win it though if Embiid is their best player come playoff time. I think there's a difference in that compared to the Lakers. But at the end of the day, James Harden is going to have to be that guy. I don't think he has to be Houston James Harden. That's a lot. I think when you put certain things into perspective, Houston James was out there wilding. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he has to be that or have that, type of statistical performances now that he has Joel Embiid, but it can't be what we saw most recently. But I'm not writing them off. I'm not writing him or the Sixers off. But just
he said he was going through some injuries. He didn't get the chance to train in the offseason. I've seen a lot of clips of James Harden. He's training now. So going into this next season.
Yeah, but more than anybody, them offseason workouts.
Of course. But I'm just saying, like he's working on his game. We didn't see none of that the previous season. We were seeing him with LeBaby. So At least I'm,
OPF.
yeah, at least, yeah, at least I'm seeing him, actually in the gym. I definitely agree with James Harden. That's a great one, Theus. And I don't feel like you said he's not going to be Houston James Harden. What James Harden was doing in Houston was crazy. Like it was like he had like 50 plus performances in Houston Harden. He's not going to be that version of James Harden. The facilitator Harden, I like the facilitator Harden when we have a big three. Now, if he, and then Tyrese Maxey, we know what Tyrese is becoming and stuff like that. So people can say like, well, some of the scoring push can come from him, but still, he has to be. I think James Harden has to go into, like you said, evolving in a combination of like scoring the ball, still looking to score first, but also facilitating, but also taking what the defense gives him. I look at James Harden like I need him to start scoring at every level on the basketball court. I need him to start shooting the mid-range more. I need him getting the post more. I need him to not always looking for a three-point shot. I need James Harden to take what the defense is giving him. If he's coming off a pick and roll and they're backing off because they don't want him to get it to the drive, he's hitting that 15-foot jumper. If he's going over the screen and, the defense is sagging off, then he's taking a three. Just taking whatever the defense is giving him. I think that's what we need to see for James Harden. Too many times he's relied on just his three-point shot and then trying to get to the rim, but his first step is not what it used to be. So now he has to work on that in-between game and go back to the OKC days where he was, money and super efficient at the second level of the basketball court. That's what I need to see for James Harden. So I like that. I like that a lot, Theus.
I would say I agree with 95% of what you said, except for the post. I'd be okay if I didn't see James in the post, especially when you got Joel Embiid. But other than that, and it sucks too because I feel like if he goes to the facilitating James Harden, it's like picking and choosing when you're a facilitator and a scorer can be tough to do, right? They're probably like LeBron. I think probably the only player that is like really done it.
He's done it his whole life.
He's done it, but that's because I feel like, he hasn't had a choice, right? To me, I think in this situation, I want James Harden scoring, right? Like you got Joel Embiid, you know what I'm saying? You have another scorer on your team, right? Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, these are guys that can get a shot up on their own. They don't need, they're not catch and shoot guys. I mean, they can be, but it ain't like, they're unable to score without someone pitching them the ball. They can score. So now it's like, all right, James, we need 30. You feel the 20 and 10s, the 18 11s. I need the 30s.
But facilitating is not always 20 and 10. Facilitating can be a variety of things if he's scoring, in a variety of ways I'm talking about every level on the basketball court. When I'm talking about like playing out the post, like James Harden is an isolation king, but it's easier to do isolation sometimes, 15-footer than doing isolation at 30 feet. So that's what I'm saying. Like more so play out the post. But I agree with everything you're saying. It's valid. Give me your second one.
Second one. All right. I'm going to go with the man that he was traded for, Sir Ben Simmons.
Okay, I like it. I like it a lot.
It's time. It's time. It's time. We've been talking about Ben Simmons for a while now. I know he's been battling a lot of things and off the court as well, injuries and just the rough ending that he had with Philly and now entering a new season and with Brooklyn and possibly could have played in the first round of last year's series. And now there's rumors about other stuff, whatever. I don't even care about that. I'm not going to judge or mention those things or dive deep into them. My thing is, what is about to happen this season? Because you have everything that you've asked for. Right, you got a new team. You got lucky enough to be sent to a championship contender. That's another thing that may not get talked about, right? Like, it's one thing to ask for a trade and then be sent out, but then to have the luxury of being sent to a team that has Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, which means you no longer are required to be a true second option on championship contender, you'll be all right. You know what I'm saying? So it's gotten to the point now where it's like, okay, if not now, when? Because I still think Ben Simmons is talented. Right, I still think Ben Simmons can contribute positively to a championship team, but at the same time, he hasn't played, or at least, on the court, in an actual game in a while. So I know, right, that again, Brooklyn had a rough end to the season, but at the same time, all right now, it's been over a year. What we on? So but I think he can do it. I got none of confidence in Ben, especially again too with the role that he'll have to play. The pressure won't be the same. No one is expecting him to go out and give you 40. Well, it ain't Philly,
Yeah,
right? If Brooklyn, if all three of them, if Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and Kyrie Irving are all teammates with Brooklyn
sure.
this
Yeah,
season and they go out and fail, I don't think it'll be Ben Simmons' fault, right?
yeah.
This ain't Philly, right? They not, or again, I don't think that they're going to be sitting here yelling at Ben for them losing in the first round or second round or whatever the case may be. But that's who I got. I got James Harden and Ben Simmons so far.
I'm not Ben, but I would say one thing: like if not James Harden, if Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are not on that team, that pressure gets a little bit more higher because now we got the situation where, Ben Simmons, everybody's talking about your entire career. Like, yo, you've been paired with Joel Embiid. The Philadelphia Sixers used to do things to kind of like benefit Joel Embiid, like try to trade for players that complement Joel Embiid. But if they trade Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, and we don't know what the future is going to hold or anything like that, guess who they're building that team around? It's Ben Simmons. And that means it's time to really see, like, yo, Ben, what are you about? And I'm hoping, like, this saga with the Brooklyn Nets ends if they trade Kyrie, they trade Kevin Durant, if those guys want to be in new situations, because I would love to see a team with Ben Simmons being that focal point and them kind of playing that 4-out-1-in system, kind of like, building players around his strengths. I would love to see that because then we'll get to see like, yo, all right, now it really won't be no excuses. It's going to be like, okay, most people are right. Either side, you can go like, yo, I told you he was this type of player. I told you he was going to be this type of player. It's going to be either side. So I would love to see that this year for Ben Simmons. So that's a great number 2. My number 2, I'm going to go with Dame. I feel like people may say, it's not really a redemption year for Damian Lillard, but Dame was out last year. Dame was hurt a lot. He's in a situation that he wants to be in. And he said that he wants to win a championship with the Portland Trailblazers, regardless if we believe that or not. But I would like to see Dame in a situation where, him healthy. I would like to see him back to us saying like, yo, other than Stephen Curry, it's not a debate if Trae Young is better than him at the point guard position. It's not a debate if Luka Doncic is better than the point guard position. It's Dame. So that's what I'm saying, redemption. I think Dame is going to remind people like of his greatness, how great he is and stuff like that. So I'll say a redemption year for Dame.
I'm a little surprised by that because, when I hear redemption, it's like players that, obviously have something to prove and stuff, but to me, there's nothing that Dame could do that would make me, like, that would move the needle for me. Right? Like, there's no, that's not shade or insult, but like, think about it. Like, realistically, Dame, it's not like Dame, shat the bed, or like, it's not like, they got upset in the playoffs or something. You look at that roster, there's not too many expectations, realistically, right?
It's a solid roster.
Okay,
redemption.
cool.
You
What
get
are your
into the
expectations for that
playoffs.
team?
I expect them to get to the playoffs. I don't expect them to be out of the playoffs.
But even that's not, if they get to the playoffs, I'm not gonna say woof. You know what I'm saying?
True,
now,
but I expect Dame to be. I expect Dame to be Dame though. Dame wasn't looking like Dame last year though. It was looking like
but
he was hurt, of course. But like the same thing with James Harden. I'm not gonna sit and pretend like Dame was like looking really great when he was not looking great.
Yeah, but what was, and I hate to say it this way, but what was the incentive? Right? Obviously, as a player, anytime you step foot on the court, you want to win, right? To be very clear.
Yeah.
But like, at the same time, it's like, all right, I'm not saying you walk into a game knowing you're going to lose, but it's different for James Harden, who like, they had championship aspirations.
True.
Right? If I'm stepping foot on the court, like, and I know that, all right, the goal here is to get buckets. The goal here is to be the number one option. The goal here is to score. I know damn well I'm not finna win no championship. I feel like the energy may not be the same. And I'm not saying Dame treated the game that way, but I'm just saying that, like, all right, I'm not about to sit here and view a season where his best player was.
That's fine, but all I can say, we're talking about redemption and stuff like that. Stephen Curry had a redemption year. Past couple of years of him not having Klay Thompson and them not being in the playoffs, and then they go out and reminds folks, like I was telling people, told you on this podcast, he's in the best player in the world table, and also like he proved that like, yo, he quiet all the noise. That was a redemption year. So the same thing, I'm looking at Dame. You didn't make the playoffs. You wasn't playing up to the Dame that we know. People are saying that it's not only like Trae Young is better than it's a couple point guards better than you, Ja Morant, Luka Doncic. These are conversations that people are having. So if he can come out and he can remind folks like, no, it's still Steph and me. Like, no, like my greatness is still get the Portland Trailblazers. We may not win a championship, but my greatness can still get us a top 6 seed in the West. That's a redemption year. So
okay, so all right, so watch this. what would you say? Is there anything that Dame you feel could do that's actually feasible that would make you feel like, okay, he's back? Because I can tell you with James Harden, right? I can tell you with Ben Simmons. What is it that you feel Dame would need to do it?
Dame at his prime, and I think he's still in his prime, but Dame at peak form was getting the Portland Trailblazers at least a top 4 to 5 seed in the Western Conference, and that's tough to do.
Right. But with that statement though, do you think realistically that he could do that this season?
Why can't he?
Do you think Damian Lillard can lead the Portland Trailblazers to a top 4 seed in the Western Conference?
I saw the Dallas Mavericks go to the Western Conference Finals. So I don't know. I don't know.
How do you not know? If I can tell you this, I don't think so. I'll give you the answer since you want to tiptoe.
But before the regular season, none of us would have said that the Dallas Mavericks would have a chance to go to the Western Conference Finals. So we don't know.
I like their chance.
Stop it. Hold on. Now because you saw them do it.
Not even.
Stop it.
I would, even before this season, I would be way more confident saying that Mavs team could make the Western Conference Finals than picking the damn Trailblazers to be a top 4 seed in this year's Western Conference. Hell no. What?
Stop it.
I'm not saying I would have thought they would have made it. I'm just saying if I got to pick the two.
Nobody thought the Dallas Mavericks were going to the Western Conference.
Absolutely.
Nobody.
That's
not
what I'm saying. Though.
You don't know though. If Dame, but Luka did it. Luka's that great.
Which Dame is more likely?
It's more likely that Damian Lillard gets the Portland Trailblazers top 5 seed than the Dallas Mavericks going back to the Western Conference
Don't
Finals.
Don't boost the number up. 4.
4 to 5. He's been doing his entire career. 4 or 5. That's been the Portland Trailblazers. Fourth or 5th seed. His entire career. His greatness, his floor rising ability has been getting the Portland Trailblazers a top 4 to 5 seed for the duration of his prime. And I feel like he's still in his prime. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like,
hey,
redemption year.
I hope
redemption
so.
year.
I hope
redemption
so.
year.
But if that's the case, that'll mean this is just another year of mediocrity.
That's fine. I'm just saying, show us you back at least to that mediocrity bar. Not below it.
Crazy. That is crazy.
Not below it. Shit.
That is
crazy. Show us at least you back to that bar. Like not even making the playoffs. Like, come on now.
This
Dame we're talking about. This is Dame.
That's like walking into an exam and say, all right, let's try and get a C. let's pass. A B is at least making it to the semifinals. You're talking about making the playoffs. Let's just scratch the surface. Let's just survive. Let's just be there. Let's just vibe. Come on. That's outrageous.
At least the second round. Second round, yeah. I mean, hey. I don't think it's gonna happen. I'm just saying but that's the Dame we know. Dame was a top 4 or 5 seed, second round appearance. That's Dame. That's okay. If he can get back to that, like that's a redemption year. I'm not gonna sit like I don't think Dame is gonna be like, damn, like we made the playoffs, made the second round. Like you feel a lot better doing that than saying, shit, we didn't even make the playoffs. Not even the playoffs, we didn't even make the play in. Shit. And and that's when people really start like, okay, well, Dame, like Ja Morant, Trae Young. Ja Morant, Trae Young. It's Dame, you had your run, but come on, guys. That's what happens. That's why I said it gotta be a redemption year. So give me a third.
I'd rather be called trash than have people react when they hear my name. My goodness. Oh, that's over there. He's cool. They're cool people, but my goodness.
It's a new era. It's a new era.
All right. So my third one will go. I'm going another lefty, Zion Williamson. Or at least he shoots with his left. I'm gonna go Zion Williamson. Are you in that top 5 group? Yes or no? Are you with the Devin Bookers? Are you with the Jason Tatums? Talent-wise, we know we've seen flashes. I think the consistency is there. Hopefully the health is there, but I need to see it over a longer time frame. Are you playing 82 games? Do you want to? I know, the contract situation and stuff is a little bit there now, but still, what's the vibe? Can he be a top 10 player in this league? Impact-wise, I think he can. But at the same time, can he play more than 50% or 50 games a year? Now, again, I think the answer to both of those questions can be yes. But if we're saying, or if the question is which players have the most to prove, I think it's Zion. You know, I think
I
he's on
respect
that
that.
list, which is a good thing. I think, like to me, the players that we just named, we all hold them to a high standard. So it's like,
Yeah.
all right, what's the vibe? Now when we write you off, when you don't get mentioned, that's when it's like, damn, all right, well,
No, I respect it.
like you said, you had your run, but Zion, for me,
No, yeah.
what we doing?
You know how I feel about the New Orleans Pelicans. I feel like they should be a top 4 seed. I think they should be. We should be
All right,
talking
all right,
about.
all right.
We should be talking about a surprise team in the Western Conference. I feel like it's the New Orleans Pelicans. If Zion is right, they're that
You
talented.
just tossing out the words top 4 all casually. Did you know that there are only 4 seeds or
Yeah.
4 teams that can be in the top 4? So you mentioned
Yeah.
the Pelicans and Trailblazers.
That's not what I said about the Trailblazers. I said like Dame's peak, he was getting Trailblazers the top 4 to 5 seed. I said, you asked me what was more likely. You're not about to do that. You're not about to debate and switch on my ass. You asked me what was more likely: Luka Doncic, Dallas Mavericks going back to the Western Conference Finals, or Dame returning to super peak form and getting the Portland Trailblazers to a 4th or 5th seed. I said Dame. That's what it is. But for the Oregon Pelicans, we had several podcasts of me talking about it. For a sleeper team, I feel like they can be a top 4 seed this year, top 4 to 5 seed. That's how cold I think they are. No less than 6. I think they're really talented. I think their health is a concern with Zion, but if they are right, Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, and Zion, that's scary. And I said this too. People are talking about, the New Orleans Pelicans. They got the picks to get Kevin Durant. I was like, I know it's Kevin Durant, but like I like Brandon Ingram. Like he's already a KD disciple in my eyes, but I will hold on to that. I know it's Kevin Durant, of course, but I will hold on to I will feel more comfortable holding on to BI than Jaylen Brown if we were picking those 2 teams. Like the Boston Celtics, should you give up Jaylen Brown for Kevin Durant? New Orleans, should you give up Brandon Ingram for Kevin Durant? I would feel more comfortable giving up Jaylen Brown than Brandon Ingram.
I mean, with the way the Nets situation is right now,
They're not getting on nobody.
Exactly. It might be currents for everybody. It might be currents for everybody.
Yeah. KD may be sitting out.
Yeah. No, I don't think he'll do that. But
yeah. All right.
No, I don't think so. Just considering like where he's at in his career, I don't. You think he would sit out? At this point,
Kevin Durant has a clause in his contract that will pay him. Like he talk about having a great agent. Like he's scheduled to make like 40 some million. He's gonna make $21 million before he has a clause in his contract. They had to pay him $21 million before the first week of training camp. He's getting $21 million, and the rest of that money is throughout the course of the NBA season. So I'm saying that to say it's just he can afford to sit out some games. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I'm saying he's going to get that money where it's just if he wants to sit out and he doesn't feel comfortable playing, he may sit out. You know what I'm saying? It's not a situation where he's getting a little $5 million here, $5 million. He's getting $21 million up front.
But
so
I mean, I don't think that would be a reason why Kevin Durant.
Well, you saying it because Kevin Durant loves a hoop, but I'm just saying if he doesn't want to play with the organization, you get $21 million before you even step on the court, and you get the duration of the rest of your money on the back end of the season, and ain't he's not hurting for nothing. You know what I'm saying? He can sit out a lot of games if he wants to.
But this isn't just a money situation though, right? It's not like he's upset at his contract.
Of course not.
It's not like he's injured. He just doesn't I think there's a difference. I feel between being frustrated with an organization and just downright not wanting to play for them, right? I think he's just frustrated. I think there's they're not agreeing. They're not on the same time. I don't know. I can't think of the word.
It's a disdain.
Yeah, but he's also not 22. So it's as much as you want to sit here and say, I'll sit out, I won't play. All right. You're wasting a year. And you're not getting younger.
Won't be a year.
However long it is. Right? And again, I'm not saying Kevin Durant is, retiring next year. But at the same time, like I said, you're not 22 years old. And also, no matter how much you may dislike the organization, right? Now, I don't know the behind the scenes stuff and all that shit. But at the end of the day, you still are on a championship team, right? And Kevin Durant is one of those players where I think wherever he goes, give or take, he's going to turn them into at least a playoff contender, right? But it ain't a guarantee that you're going to go to another team and automatically win chips, right? This isn't a situation where the Nets feel like they have to trade him. This rumor came out a while ago, and the
Yeah.
Nets ownership has made it very, very clear they
Because
do
they're
not give a
incompetent.
damn if he's upset. Right? This ain't.
It's
They're
not
not in a
about
rush.
of course, but they're also not being realistic either. Because you sit up and you ask players for like, oh, we'll start the trade negotiations. I want Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Hang up the phone. They're not really. They're not serious themselves because it's just like they feel like Kevin Durant, as great as he is, like you said, you factor in the age part. That's why the trade package that they think they're gonna receive, they're not gonna get. It's a situation where, like, I hate to say it, like these front offices think that they're gonna get equal return in their investment. That never happens. I can think of one time, like, oh shit, the Toronto Raptors and the San Antonio Spurs. The Spurs got DeMar DeRozan and the Toronto Raptors got Kawhi. Other than that, and that wasn't even Kawhi wouldn't have won a championship, but other than that, that's the last time where you really see like, yo, like, all right, we got a real legit all-star player in return in the deal. That's not gonna happen, really. That's not gonna happen.
But
It's
also,
just as simple as that.
what's unique about this situation too is that the Nets have way more power than I think people are realizing. Kevin Durant is still under contract, so even
Yeah.
if you want to sit here and say, "All right, he sits out," what's gonna happen next year? The year after that? Like,
It won't go that long though.
I'm saying though, but if the Nets really wanted to be petty,
They can.
like
And
they
that-
they can
but we
do that
all
here.
we can, but we've never seen that before in the NBA. When a lot this ain't the NFL. Like players get what they want when it's all said and done. It may take a little longer, but it won't be a situation where Kevin Durant, if he really wants out with the Brooklyn Nets, it won't be a situation where he's missing a whole year. I can guarantee you that.
Well, it's still, I would say, it's still the off season, right?
Yeah.
And unlike the Ben Simmons situation, even though both their seasons ended, I would say, in disappointment, the Sixers and the Nets, it wasn't like the Nets hated Kevin Durant, or it wasn't like,
Of course not.
no, don't say of course not, because on the other side with the player, we talking about, you make the case. But so
Yeah.
because of that, I don't think there is so much friction. Like this isn't a situation where things can't be repaired, right? Like that, what happened in Philly, that you knew that shit was,
Yeah.
for a fact Ben Simmons was never going to play another game. This, I think the Nets probably feel comfortable where it's like, all right, if we wait it out, give a couple weeks, month, whatever, maybe Kevin says, all right, you know what, whatever, let's roll the dice, let's rock and roll. Maybe.
Yeah.
Now
Maybe.
it'll still be awkward. If I'm Steve Nash, I'm definitely looking at Brown Man sideways. And on the flip side, right? Because the reports are out. There ain't no way you want someone else to be fired and then you are able to walk to the office and still shake their hands and be all cool with them.
Yeah.
Right. We can sit here and talk about pride all we want. That's a little wacky. But either way, Kevin Durant is still Kevin Durant.
That's true.
Right.
I mean,
and so,
we'll see though.
you roll the dice.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's nasty because at the end of the day, it's other things that's going on with that organization. It's just about like representation in the front office and on the coaching staff, and like guys getting jobs who ain't never coached before in their life and don't know what they do. Like it's a lot of things that goes on that players look at like, yo, this shit really is kind of bonkers. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll be talking about it until something happens or when it does happen. But your number 2 was Zion. Number 3 was Zion Williamson. So I'm not mad at that. Zion is a force. Zion is he's a great young player. But like you said, show us you in that top 5 of 25 and under. Simple as that. My number 3, it's like it's a toss up because even though we started the episode talking about this being Russell Westbrook's worst season in the NBA. Then I look at Kyrie Irving as well. Like some could argue this has to be a redemption year for Kyrie Irving. But I'm still going to go with Russell Westbrook because I saw Kyrie Irving when he was on the court. Kyrie was still Kyrie. He looked sensational. Russell Westbrook came into a new situation with Los Angeles Lakers, had to play the third option role, then was sometimes forced to be the number 1 option, then was sometimes forced to be the number 2 option, depending on if LeBron James and Anthony Davis was on the basketball court. It's a new situation going into a new head coach. If he's with the Los Angeles Lakers, he better damn show make sure it's a redemption year because that fan base is not playing. And we know the expectation that fan base has, and we know wearing that purple gold, the type of expectations that you had to carry yourself. If he's in a new situation, I feel more comfortable with the redemption, because I know that, if he's in a new situation, I know, okay, Russ is about to remind the league, at least statistically, he's still that guy. So,
Oh yeah, he's not going anywhere though. I mean, you see that contract. Bradman is home.
Yeah, he's like it's clipped with the trades and stuff.
Oh, it's clip. It's clip.
Okay.
I hope he doesn't get traded. I hope he stays. I mean, he's from there, so
Yeah.
it would be special to kind of see him get a chip. In LA.
Lakers fans don't even say playoff. They chip or bust. He said get the chip.
That's how it
After
should
last
be.
season, it wasn't even like, oh shit, it was like, let's play. He said they get the chip. I love the confidence.
I mean, should anyone, not just Laker fans, should anyone that looks at that roster think otherwise? What happened to all hail the king? What happened to that? Do you not feel like they can win it?
I mean, if they healthy, it's a chance. But what did they do this offseason?
Look, all I said it would be special if they could win. I didn't say they will. I didn't say they should be the favorite. I didn't say any of that.
Yeah, okay.
You just asked if I thought he would get traded. I said no because I would like to see him stay in LA and win it where he's from. Even as a Laker fan, I'm still realistic. We got some things we got to work out, but it is what it is. You got a cap or no cap?
Do I have a cap or no cap? Man, like we talked about a lot of stuff. Let's see. Cap or no cap, the Denver Nuggets will make it to at least the Western Conference Finals for this upcoming NBA season.
Cap. The West is too low to this year, and I know Nuggets are coming back with some of their guys, but so are other teams, i.e. Clippers, i.e. the Lakers.
Are the Denver Nuggets a championship caliber team, Theus?
Yes, they are, but that's not the same question, by the way.
I know it's not.
They are, just making sure we're clear. But yeah, I mean, I think the Clippers are reloaded. The Lakers are reloaded. The Warriors are still the Warriors. They haven't done anything. The Grizzlies.
The Lakers are what? Don't say reloaded. Don't say reloaded.
Well, if the Clippers are reloaded, why wouldn't the Lakers be? Because if we just said the Lakers have been injured.
Yeah, but they were.
What are we doing?
The Clippers released in the play-in situation. Like they released fighting, and Paul George had got hurt and then came back and stuff like that. And even then, they were still had to fight to compete to get a play-in situation. It's totally two different things.
Damn it, crazy man. No playing is crazy. You're about to make me mad all over again. No playing is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Like let's pump it. Like.
No playing is crazy on all accounts. We let the damn Spurs make the play-in.
Yeah.
We're still reloaded, though. So I would say Clippers, Lakers, Warriors. I mean, even the Grizzlies, if they were a 2 seed at the end of the day. The Mavs, they're fresh off.
They falling down.
The Suns, I mean, they were a 1 seed. So I mean,
they may fall down too.
All right, but I mean, the Western Conference is definitely tough. You mentioned the Pelicans, right? So hell, according to you, the Trailblazers 4 seed. So I mean, if they could be a top 4 seed, then hey, that means they got home court advantage. So anything can happen.
That wasn't a good.
We can roll back the tape. The worst top 4 seed and the Trailblazers were mentioned in the same sentence. I would never, not even think twice about doing such damage.
You're missing context in what we talked about.
Ain't no context needed. I'm not lying.
Okay.
I am not lying.
Okay.
There's no way that I personally would even work around, dabble into that type of question.
You asked me what I thought, and I told you that Dame historically has got the Portland Trailblazers to a 4th or 5th seed his entire career. And if you ask me what was more likely to happen, Dallas Mavericks going to Western Conference Finals or the Portland Trailblazers being 4th or 5th seed, I said the Portland Trailblazers.
Nasty work. But yeah, to answer your question, Denver, Western Conference Finals. I would say no, but I would say Jokic. It's also time. He was another player that I didn't say. But yeah, it's time. Are you an MVP? Right? I mean, you are, right? Not taking anything away from you. You're a 2-time MVP. Again, much love to Jokic because I know Redman's fan base is, feel me, solid as they come, pause. But shout out to Jokic. But we need answers. You're a regular season guy. And again, he I know his team was hurt over the course of the year, but he still got things done. Cool, completely understand that. But if we're going to hold you to that higher standard, if we're going to put you in the same conversation as Giannis, Bron, KD, every last one of those gentlemen have championships. Every last one of those gentlemen have finals. MVPs on top of their MVPs. So now what are we doing?
Steph, yeah. That's
Stephen
true.
Curry, you know what I'm saying? What's the
can't
vibes?
all this best player in the world talk when you've been to one Western Conference Finals and you wasn't even the best player in that playoff run. I remind folks it was Jamal Murray. Go roll back to film. The best player in those playoff runs was Jamal Murray. Y'all don't have to believe me or not.
That's not a hot take, by the way. That's not a hot take.
Yeah, okay.
Who the hell watched them series in the bubble and thought, oh yeah.
Okay.
And again, Jokic was there, but
Okay.
Jamal, what the hell? Jamal.
I'm telling you,
I don't know
some
what
people
was-
still said that it was Nikola Jokic, but it don't matter. That's here nor there. I don't think. I mean, yeah.
And then I forgot Minnesota. If you really want to have a dialogue, I mean,
a lot of these teams in the Western Conference.
I'm just saying.
I think it's going to be a bloodbath in the East again, just like we predicted before the season started. In the West, I see the Warriors. I see the Clippers if they're healthy. And I see the Nuggets if they're healthy. Everybody else, I don't even think it's really like.
Don't do that to Memphis. Don't do that to Memphis.
Everybody else, I was the only one that was just keeping it real all year about Memphis, and then reality happened.
They lost to the Warriors. Let's not do that. They didn't get swept in the first round.
No matter. They were second round seeds.
They lost to the Warriors, bro. What are we doing here?
Yeah, they lost to the Warriors. But even then, like they weren't for real, and they're not catching up on nobody this year. So they're gonna have to actually go out and show that, like, with the Clippers, with the Denver Nuggets, ain't nobody. We ain't looking at the West like, damn, everybody hurt like shit. Okay, Memphis, it ain't none of that happening. That's not the situation. They going into a season where we looking at the rosters top to bottom, and we gonna do this. When the season gets closed, we'll rank and put in order who we think it's gonna be. But like, put that shit up and everybody healthy, and we saying like, all right, if everybody's healthy. Memphis may have a little drop off. That's all I'm gonna say. Like they may have a little drop off. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Okay. I mean, if they do have a drop off, I don't think it'll be because of their play. So I guess the biggest question is, will they be the Hawks of a year or two ago? Will they?
I ain't gonna say all that. The Hawks,
how was that
the Hawks? Did they make the playoffs? Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I'm saying though, just the idea of how they caught everyone by surprise come playoff time and all that, and then next year, oh my goodness, are they going to be the Knicks?
It's a lot of teams. It's a lot of teams. I think. It's a lot of teams. I think better healthy than the Memphis Grizzlies. I think the Denver Nuggets are one of them. I think the Denver Nuggets can go to the finals. Like Jamal Murray is. If I know he's coming off the ACL injury, just like I know Kawhi's coming off the ACL, but Jamal Murray is cold. Like, he's a guy that we didn't even mention when we talk about first-time All-Star. We didn't even mention. We forgot all about him because of the ACL, but we didn't even mention his name. Michael Porter, like.
But that's the problem, though. That's the problem when you judge teams that rely or haven't proven anything this season prior because of health. Because I know I can say the same thing about the Clippers, but at least they still have Paul. I mean,
yeah, but it's still though. It's tough. But like I'm just saying, if everybody, they're tough. They got that boy Bones coming off the bench. We ain't even talked about him. Like he's a problem. Like he'll be a starter for most teams in the league. Like they
I mean, if we talking about depth, Clippers, come on.
Like, of course, that's what I said. I said the Warriors, the Clippers, the Nuggets. I didn't start. You ain't like I threw them in there. I didn't like. Now. I'm just saying a healthy. As much as I talk about the Denver Nuggets, a healthy Denver Nuggets roster moves me. It moves me.
Suns, Grizzlies, and the Lake Show don't.
Lake
Dallas.
Show? Dallas, no. The Suns, I think.
No faith in Luka. This not Luka's year. He didn't move the knee. Damn, bro.
The Suns didn't even offer this man a qualifying offer. They
who
waited.
Cares? That's irrelevant.
They irrelevant. That just shows me that they don't have faith in DeAndre Ayton. Chris Paul is another year older. It's just like, I don't think there's going to be a situation where we're looking at the Suns like, yo, they about to be a number one seed again. I think they, a legitimate possibility could be made that they probably missed their window. I don't think we go into the season, this upcoming season, like, yo, the Suns is just like, all right, like, yo, it's probably be top 3 seed, top 4 seed, but like in the playoffs, based on them getting waxed by a 23-year-old, like, I can't. They Luka waxed them boys. Luka, and he not only he waxed them when they were down. He said it's all fun and games when y'all up. It's all talk when y'all up, and then won the series. I have no confidence in the Phoenix Suns after that, none whatsoever. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's some teams that's gonna dip. Some teams that's gonna dip.
That's fair. As long as they ain't the Lakers, because he can't dip no more than where the hell we were at last season. On that note, y'all, make sure you subscribe to No Pump Fakes wherever you get your podcast. Long live the King. Go Lake Show. Subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, as well as Spotify. Anthony Davis, MVP year coming up. But
Woo!
yeah, another
Yes, sir.
subscribe to No Pump Fakes, y'all. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. And just like that, y'all, we gone. Peace. What's up, y'all? It's Theus McBeat. Make sure you go follow No Pump Fakes on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to your podcasts.